Can AI play jazz? That is the question we're going to explore today.
We gave birth to AI.
AI? You mean artificial intelligence?
Now, I know you may already be thinking, of course it can't. It lacks the human soul. It doesn't have the capabilities technologically yet. But what we're going to go into today will surprise you. The technology has come a long, long way.
You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world as it exists today.
We're going to look at this new free website called Udio. This is totally free to use. You can just sign up with a Google account. And this is a prompt-based AI, meaning we're going to prompt the AI with our own text and tell it what to create. First, we're going to look at some of the top tracks in jazz, and I'll show you how similar this is to real jazz recordings. You're going to see, can you really tell whether I'm playing an AI track for you or a real recording? And then we're going to create our own Udio tracks. And this is going to be super fun. You're definitely going to want to stick around for that part because I'm going to create some tracks in certain styles, in the style of certain guitarists that I like. We're going to have some fun with it. It is going to be a good time. So let's get into it. Let's talk AI in jazz. All right, so the first thing I want to do is look at some of the top tracks in jazz. And so let's go over to the computer now, to Udio, and I'll show you how this works, how you can navigate there. All right, so let's go to Discover, and then within the Discover tab, we're going to go to the jazz category. There are a few different tracks I'm going to share with you today. The first one I want to check out is Archtop Odyssey. See if you can guess what guitarist this is trying to sound like. Whether it succeeds is up to you. Okay, so most of these tracks, it's only around 33 seconds, some are longer. What did you guys think? So a couple things I noticed here. The first one is that as an overall sound, like the actual recording, sound of the recording, quality of the instrument tone, it's a lot closer than it used to be, especially instrumental. And we'll also look at some songs with lyrics later. A couple of things that AI can't quite do. At least not yet from what I'm hearing. We'll see if we can adjust to get it closer. A couple things. The first thing is that on the note side, the AI isn't really making musical sense. It's using some notes that fit within some of the chords, but the actual things it's saying aren't making musical sense. Now, to make that a little more clear, it's not using any of these vocabulary words or phrases that we hear jazz musician after jazz musician build upon in the history of jazz. So there's not any common musical patterns or phrases. It's just almost random notes. And sometimes when you hear what the phrase is doing, it picks some really weird notes that you're not getting. But it's not totally random. It's getting closer. It's sounding like someone who's trying to play jazz but doesn't know the vocabulary, which honestly might be where a lot of you fall. You know the right scales, you know some of the right quote unquote notes, but it's not making musical sense. That's one of the things I actually address in my course, Essential Jazz Patterns and Essential Jazz Vocab, is trying to get you from going from the quote right notes to actually making musical sense with musical words. So obviously this was trying to sound like Wes with the octave thing. Obviously Wes sounds a lot better than this. But that's what it's going for. Again, see if you can tell who they're trying to imitate with these recordings. So this next one we're going to check out is called Nocturne Whispers. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit so that we start right at some of the meat of the recording. Okay, this one's trying to sound like Miles Davis. Again, it's pretty clear what artists they're going for in this. The tone on this, in my opinion, is pretty close to what they're trying to go for Miles. I don't think a casual listener would really be able to distinguish the two. Now, you might disagree with me on that. One thing actually that if you guys are interested in, I can do is I can play some of these AI tracks for my girlfriend who doesn't really listen to jazz and play some real recordings of jazz and see if she can tell the difference. Let me know in the comments whether you guys want to see that video or not. Okay, so back to this recording. What I'm noticing here that's interesting is we're getting actually some repetition of melodic ideas. So earlier in this, there's a certain phrase that the AI is kind of playing with and working with, which I didn't really hear in that first recording with Wes. Again, some of the note choices, it doesn't really go anywhere. The other thing is, on a harmonic basis, the chord changes don't quite go anywhere as well. There's not any of these standard progressions we're used to hearing. So both on the melodic side, like the actual improvised notes, and also the harmonic side, we're not getting anything that our ear really recognizes as standard jazz harmony, standard jazz vocabulary. But I don't think the regular person would be able to tell that this is not Miles Davis, to be honest. All right, let's check out one more recording here. And this one's supposed to sound like Train. Again, I'm going to go back. And this one is called Harmonic Leap. Okay, one thing just actually from hearing this with the eighth note lines that I'm noticing is rhythmically it's a lot closer than I would have expected. Like the way that the eighth notes are swinging doesn't feel nearly as robotic as it did in previous years of AI. I think that's probably the thing that this is doing the best, like being able to line up these notes in a way that actually propels forward is way better than I think it's doing harmonically or melodically, just in keeping that flow. I think this one's a little bit harder to tell in certain spots. You could take a couple seconds here and there that it is AI because certain parts are making more melodic sense, but then sometimes it's just doing stuff that you can tell it's not really going anywhere with what the line is doing, and you're not really hearing it outline the changes in any sort of way. And even if it was playing more modally, it's not really doing that effectively either. So stylistically, on the improvising side, again, it's not making much sense there. We have a few prompts to try and get this. Some prompts you are not able to do because of copyright reasons, but sometimes you can get around that. So saying things like Coltrane, it usually doesn't allow full names, but you might be able to get away with certain partial names to get the prompt closer to what you want. We'll try that in the next part of this video. Okay, so these tracks are okay, and these are the top tracks for jazz on Udio. But I want to see if we can make something a lot better, a lot closer to something, especially on the guitar side, that is harder to distinguish as AI. So let's see if we can come up with something that really pushes past the limits we're seeing so far. Okay, the very first thing I have to try is seeing if we can get a track that sounds close to George Benson. Let's see what prompts we can do. I'll add in a bunch of stuff here, and I don't know, we'll get better at it. I'm very new to working with Udio, so we'll be doing this together in real time. I'm not an expert at this by any means. All right, so I want to do Let's see. Let's see if they do George Benson. Let's see if it'll allow that. Let's do fast rhythm changes. Let's see if it can do that. Maybe fast blues. That might get something closer. Jazz guitar, soul jazz, and then let's do instrumental improvisation. And I'm gonna click instrumental here so that we keep it to instrumental for now. All right, let's see what that does. One of the things, while it's doing this loading, one of the things that's important with these prompts, if you're not familiar with any of the prompt-based AI, like ChatGPT is probably the most known one, but there are many others, it takes some refining. It takes some getting used to how to prompt the AI in a way that gets the best results. So a lot of people call this prompt engineering. So we'll have to play with this and we'll see what words are tripping it up, what other things we can add to get closer results. It's just kind of the first iteration and we'll get better from there. All right, so we get this little artist replaced, and that's probably because, yeah, George Benson is too close to something copyright, but they actually fix that and they know what George Benson, he's male vocalist, smooth soul, so they're doing all the adjusting for us. Let's check out Velvet Groove. Let's see what that sounds like. Let's play along. All right, so let's try and grab some of this material that's being played. Okay, so it's really interesting because it is keeping to a general key, in this case like D flat, and the notes that are being played are really just around like a D flat blues pentatonic, like a minor pentatonic around D flat. So again, note-wise it's picking some kind of common things. Even that opening lick is very kind of standard, just going down the scale. Not the worst thing that could be played over that for sure. Let's try the other song here, Soulful Strut. Okay, so most of that was absolute garbage. But that last little bit, it did seem like it was trying to follow some sort of blues progression, some 5-4-1 thing. Let's hear that. Yeah, F. So, again, it gives us a very limited amount of material to work with. But that last part was like a 5-4-1 in like an F blues, and I did put fast blues here, so maybe it's catching on to that. Let me put something like jazz standard, swing. Let me add swing. Let's see if we can get something closer, because I want to hear some guitar soloing. I don't want to hear all these other instruments. Let me put guitar improvisation. Now you get 600 monthly creations. It's a lot to go through. 600 monthly creations for free. If you don't want to sound like AI, then you need a course, a program that teaches you essential jazz patterns and essential jazz vocab. Now, the curriculum by itself is not enough because you need to get actual feedback from a real person, from a teacher, not an AI. And that's the great thing about Chase's Guitar Academy is I'm available 24/7, 365 days of the year to give you personalized feedback and support on your videos, on your playing, and tell you exactly what to check out, exactly what you can do to improve. We also have Jazz Master sessions every month, which is a great hang and masterclass with one of the world's best jazz guitarists. In the past, we've had Dan Wilson, John Story, Stefan Rembel, we've had Barry Green, we've had Will Brahm, and we're having Rodney Jones in April. Many more awesome jazz guitarists on the platform. So check it out. 14-day free trial in the link in the description. Look at that. Now the track is ready and we can check it out. All right, let's start with swinging soul strings now. Oh. I mean, that had some more jazz language for sure. A lot of what it was doing on the enclosures. Still not jazz guitar though. We're still not really able to get a jazz guitar. So let's see this last one, Groove Serenade. What is it doing there? Alright, so let's try and extend this recording. It's the closest one we actually get some jazz guitar playing. Let's extend it and see what happens. Let's add a section after. Let's do that. I can't believe I'm here actually transcribing AI. So getting this like... Okay, so we finally got the tracks. Let's take a listen. These are extended cut versions. Soulful Strut. Let's go. Okay, so we're getting that same melody again. It's playing with the melody. Okay, so as far as just general background guitar stuff, you know, it's not bad to listen to. It's fitting in with some melody here. Nowhere near sounds close to Benson. We don't get any of the characteristic Benson-isms. We're not getting any of the fire, any of the melodic notes, any blues. We're getting none of that. And maybe that's because it can't use George Benson. Let's try this next one and see if we get any closer. violin all of a sudden. All right, so it's having a struggle with getting anything close to Benson. Let's see if we can get something close to Wes Montgomery. For this, I'm gonna use, let's just say Wes instead of Wes Montgomery. Let's say jazz, guitar, improvisation, jazz. I don't want jazz funk. Jazz instrumental, guitar. Sometimes it gives you some suggestions based on what you type. Let's see, what if we put swing? Swing jazz. Let's put swing jazz. And hold up, we need to do this in a new creation. Okay, so it does recognize Wes as Wes Montgomery, and it's replacing that. Apparently Wes is hard bop, jazz, cool jazz, technical, melodic, and improvisation. That, according to AI, is what defines Wes Montgomery. Swinging on Wes and swinging fingers are the results. Let's see. Let's see if it does anything like Wes beyond just using octaves. Let's see if it uses octaves even. All right, first up is swinging on Wes. Okay, so literally no guitar, just piano. Let's see about swinging fingers. Okay, that was closer. Let's try and extend this one. And let's add a section before this. Okay, so we have two tracks now that are extended with a section before. Let's check them out. Swing Serenade number 1. You can almost hear the AI trying to be Wes. Like it's trying to get the chords and voicings that he's doing. It's trying to like get to that, but it's just not there yet. I can't imagine it getting worse. And if it's already this close, in 6 months to a year, it's going to be very, very close. Maybe we'll even revisit this at that point as well to see how much of a leap AI has made. But even some of these, like, you can get some ideas from it. Like that little blues lick right here. just playing around with kind of standard blues language in sort of a shout chorusy way. It has some of the elements there of Wes, but not nearly enough to be believable, in my opinion. Okay, so now I asked it to generate a song about George Benson's favorite flavor of ice cream. It decided on vanilla as his favorite ice cream flavor. Let's see what it came up with. I'm already loving the titles of these short tracks. First one is Creamy Escapes.
Vanilla dream.
That's kind of close to Benson.
George Benson, sweet escape. In a world of flavors, it takes its shape. So here,
Let's check that again.
vanilla dream. Oh, slow creamy. In every bite, a taste so dreamy. George Benson, sweet escape. In a world of flavors, it takes its shape.
Okay, so let's check out the second one, Vanilla Serenade.
Vanilla dream, oh so creamy. In every bite, a taste so dreamy. George Benson's sweet escape. In a world of flavors, it takes its shape.
Okay, Creamy Escapes was obviously the winner. Let's extend that one. We have two different versions here. Start with version 2.
From the stage to the studio line, in the midst of a musical flight,
That's pretty close to his voice.
there's a moment he longs to savor. With a scoop of vanilla, nothing can waver. In the rhythm of a smooth guitar, like the sweetness that travels far. Vanilla notes in a melody, in every chord a symphony. Vanilla dream, oh, slow creamy. In every bite,
If you guys want the transcription for this, let me know.
a taste so dreamy. George Benson, sweet escape. In a world of flavors, it takes its shape. From the stage to the studio line,
Little piano intro.
in the midst of a musical flight, there's a moment he longs to savor.
It doesn't sound as much like Benson in this one.
In every chord a symphony.
It's like switching almost to like a female voice.
Vanilla dream.
Now it sounds like him.
Oh, slow creamy. In every bite.
Song's gonna be stuck in my head. Vanilla Dreams. All right, let's see what Udio came up with for a theme song for this YouTube channel. First one, we have Harmony Heights.
Chase's Guitar Academy, where jazz thrives. With every chord progression, our spirits rise. A collective journey of growth and sound in the pulsing heart of jazz profound.
So I actually don't hate the background music part, but the cheesiness of the rhyming and the lyrics is really bad. Let's see the other option, Jazz Odyssey Nexus.
Chase's Guitar Academy, where jazz thrives. With every chord progression, our spirits rise. A collective journey of growth and sound in the pulsing heart of jazz profound.
So let's take a listen to the instrumental versions for this YouTube channel. First one is Strut the Fret. Okay, kind of mediocre, but not the worst. Let's see the next one, Groove Unscripted. All right, so my overall impressions of AI. First one, right now it can't play jazz, but it is getting awfully close in a few ways. The first one is the tone of a variety of instruments, and just the fact that it can generally pick up some keys and have some melody, some repetition, but it does a bad job of keeping that up over any extended period. Beyond, let's say, 3 to 4 notes, it starts to struggle really quickly. And it doesn't really have any jazz vocabulary, or in many cases, it's not following a standard harmony, standard progression. There are a couple instances where we get maybe a 5-to-1, or some kind of interesting chord choices that we can interpret as making sense, but most of the time that's probably a random choice on its part. I was also surprised by how close it could get the voice to some of these, so I would definitely play around with more of the lyrics and trying to get some inspiration there. In these cases, from what we were generating, you know, it was very much mediocre on a lot of the recordings, a lot of things that were generated. Everything you're seeing here, this isn't cut to just fit for the video. This is just what I actually went through. So I think it's an accurate representation of what your results would also be. Maybe with more refining, more actual working through, we could get something that sounds a lot better. Probably the best and funniest thing that we generated was the little short song, if you could call it that, on George Benson's favorite ice cream flavor. That started to sound like maybe the beginning of something, but obviously it's just really for the humor of it, and not something that's actually going to be inspirational or even come close to reaching a level of what we'd call art. So that's where it's at now, but I can't wait to hear what it sounds like 6 months to a year in the future. And also, like I was saying earlier, I'm curious if a general layperson who doesn't listen to jazz is able to tell the difference. If you guys want to see the video with my girlfriend and I, where I play 2 different recordings for her, one AI generated and one real jazz, and have her pick which is the real one. If you guys want to see that, it'll just be a fun, entertaining video, I think. Let me know in the comments that you want to see that video with my girlfriend. She's down to do it, but we really need to see if there's any interest in you guys wanting to watch it. Let me know what you guys thought of this video, and if you think AI would ever be able to replace jazz musicians. I'm curious what you guys think about this topic. Again, let me know in the comments. I'll see you there. Thanks, guys.